All right, good morning. Thank you all for being here. Good start. Thought our energy was really good, which is to be expected. It's hard to practice football without pads, especially run game wise, O-line, D-line. Much cleaner start today than either of the starts we had last year, which is to be expected. But I would say today, first practice of spring, we were probably better than we were into fall camp a couple times. Kind of give you each phase. Special teams, a lot of technique work. That's kind of where we'll be on special teams for the next few days. We talk about in spring and in fall camp, we always talk about technique and effort. That's kind of the two things that make successful plays on special teams. We're in the technique session of it right now. And all the techniques we teach on special teams all correlate to offense and defense. So a lot of technique work today. Offensively, bright spot was several explosive plays downfield. Negative, because mostly a passing day today just because of the nature of not being in any equipment. Too many run-throughs on some line movements by the D-line. Defensively positive, I thought the D-line was active. We got some talented guys there. They moved, and I thought they made some plays. Got hands on the ball more than we did last year. It's a point of emphasis for us, getting our hands up and affecting some passes that way. Negatives are we gave up some explosive pass plays, and we do have some talent at wide out, but we got behind them. The receiver got behind the DB too many times today. So with that, I'll open up the questions.
I guess logistical first. Morning practices, to my knowledge, are a little unusual throughout the spring. So, have you done it before? Do you like this?
Yeah. So we're doing it for a couple reasons. The first is I want to give our guys. We're taking more classes on campus. And so I wanted to give our guys options of being able to take morning or afternoon classes throughout the year. And so several of our guys, once they get up into the classes in their major, they're only offered a certain time. So we're going to continue to practice in the afternoons in the fall. But now in the spring semester, those guys, like we have a couple kids that are in PA school. Most of those classes are in the afternoon. Some of the engineering are only offered, there's only one class. So we give those guys an opportunity during the spring term to take afternoon classes, while in the fall they'll take morning practices. I really think the guys like it. I'm going to kind of poll them at the end of the semester. The thing that I think they enjoy is they come over here, whether it's a workout day, a meeting day, or whether it's just a practice day, they get their work in. Now they just have academics for the rest of the day, meals and academics.
Anything else? You're not going to ask you.
Yeah, you're taking more classes on campus. Is that a reason?
No, I just wanted guys to be a part of it. To be honest with you, I think the ease of taking online classes is obviously there, but I think it's part. I'll tell you, one of my initiatives is to get. Who was at the basketball game? It was mostly everybody at the basketball game. Students were awesome, correct? When we have recruits, I always sit right behind the students at basketball games. And I thought they were incredible. That was as good a college atmosphere basketball game. I got to be careful so I don't offend anybody at home, but that was as good a college basketball game atmosphere-wise as I've been to. And the students are a huge piece of that. And we want to create that same energy, the same excitement in football. And it's a little different because it's open air. But we want to do that with our students in football as well. And I think for us to do that, we've got to get out and connect with them. Not only myself but also our students. One way to do that is to have class on campus and spend time with them.
Coach, any specific position battles that you're looking at? I know it's early day one, but
Yeah.
offensive line.
I think we do have some position battles without question. And I think that at corner, I'm going to talk to the positions that actually could practice almost full speed today. So if you look at wideout, I think we've got a lot of depth in that room. At outside receiver, we got Sam James, Ali Jennings, Sean Ryan, Bryce Wheaton, Randy Fields. Those guys are all quality players, and so there's only so many snaps. So I'm looking forward to watching them compete. I think if you turn it over on defense, there's a lot of unproven guys playing corner, but we have some talent there. So I'm really intrigued as we go through to see who's going to rise and kind of claim those positions. I think at linebacker it's going to be key. If you look at that Mike linebacker spot, Jared Bartlett and Dylan Tonkery. And Tonk, I think I said this the other day, is Tonkery's had a phenomenal offseason, and Jared Bartlett's coming too. So that's a battle that I think as we go through the spring, into the summer, into fall camp, I think that'll be one to watch.
You know, you have a competition at quarterback and say, how will you judge quarterbacks? How do you?
Yeah, that's a good question. So what we do is we do every player. It's very similar. Quarterbacks are a little bit unique. So what we do is we always do a percentage. All right, this percentage is based on effort and assignment. Then we do a production grade, which is a little bit different for each position. Right. And so that's how we evaluate them in a practice setting. Quarterback's a little bit different because there's a lot of uncontrollables for a quarterback. Right. So you're looking at your normal, the completion percentage, yards per attempt, those type of things. But you also got to look at decision making, right, and how many catchable balls are being thrown, because that's what they control. They can't necessarily control if the ball's caught, but they can control if the ball is catchable. And then you're looking at decision making, and then we want to see production. And it's who's leading their unit, whether it's the ones or the twos. Who is leading their unit in the end zone?
And obviously you can't tell today, but through winter workouts, any of the newer walk-ons jump out at you and say, hey, maybe he's got a chance at some point?
Yeah, so that's a good question. And so I'll just talk offensively first. I think Nick Malone, a guy from right here in town, is a guy that as his body matures, I don't know if it'll happen this fall, but I think at some point as his body matures, he'll be a guy that can help us. I think Knipper is a body type that we need. We need him he's a guy that's strong, that can be a factor for us on special teams, whether it's attacking a punch shield, whether it's on kickoff return, get a block, or in a short yardage situation, be able to get some movement because he's big enough. I love Grayson. I think the kid can play. I think he'll be a guy that plays a lot of football here. I think he'll definitely help us on special teams, and he'll play receiver here. Those are some guys right off the top of my head. I think defensively, if you look on that side, the guy that Naeem Muhammad came and played some on special teams at the end of the year last year. He's a guy that stands out. Drew Joseph is a guy that you've heard us brag about. Somebody that has done a phenomenal job on scout team. He'll get a chance to show what he can do out there. Both long snappers. They Hadley and Poland. We had a little competition at the end of the day. Hadley won, but Poland will have an opportunity tomorrow to get him back. So both those guys, and Casey Legg. Casey Legg will be a factor either in the kickoff or in the field goal duties.
Is spring strictly educational for Garrett Green?
He got fired today. He made a couple big plays. He got his tail chewed because he didn't finish a play, so that was probably his first one of his career. Probably won't be his last, but he's going to get in. He's going to get in. He has a different dynamic now. He can run. He's athletic, extremely quick trigger, and he's got a little edge about him. I think when you guys get a chance to get out there and see him, you'll be impressed because he looks like he belongs.
I know you didn't see anything today, obviously, but some of those young offensive linemen, what have you seen out of them progressing? Parker, Brandon, Blaine Scott, those guys?
Well, it's going to be huge factors for us. I think Parker Moore and Brandon Yates, how they progress is going to be a huge factor for us offensively. You heard me talk about them last year. I think how we handled them last year was the right way. They're much stronger than they were when they first got here. When Parker got here end of May, beginning of June, Brandon didn't get here, Yates didn't get here right till the first day of fall camp. And so they've both progressed. We need them as a football team. We need those guys to be able to give and either start or play a good bit. Those are really important. I'll tell you the guy that's had a really good offseason, doesn't get talked about, but it's kind of his time to kind of show up and be a guy that we think he can be is Junior. I think Junior has had a good offseason. He was good at pass protection today. But like I said, we're not going to be able to tell. It's hard to talk about O-line or D-line until we get to Friday.
John Hughes played mainly guard in games last year, but
he's going to play tackle.
Yeah,
he's going to be a tackle for us. He is kind of out of necessity for playing with guard last year. he can do that again for us, but his natural fit's at tackle. He's another guy. I would put him right in that same mix with Yates and Moore. Those are guys that we need to come on, and they have the capability that's got to do it.
Running back with Lenny coming back with the experience he brings, would you be open to an old-fashioned lead back kind of guy as opposed to running back by committee? We saw tons of guys last year. If that's the way.
Yeah, done it both ways. I think it's hard to, if you go back, very few people do it where one guy gets the majority of the carries anymore, NFL or college. But I think we've had featured backs without doubt. I think I was doing some research the other day, and then let's see, 6 years that I called plays at Troy, I think we had 4,000-yard rushers. So when you have a 1,000-yard rusher, I mean, you're giving that ball to your guy. We would have had 5, but we probably would have had 6. But DeJuan Harris got hurt one year, and then kid Jordan Chun got hurt. But so you're going to have a lead running back, and I think we would. We'd like to have a lead running back. We'd like to have some separation. Letty did a nice job at the end of the year. He did some good things today. I thought Sinkfield did some nice things as well.
Going back to quarterbacks, you mentioned leadership and leading that. Leadership learned, is it innate, and how does it express itself?
Yeah. And there's a lot of books written on that, Bob.
I tried to read it.
No, it's well, I think there's different types of leaders. So I think, and I say this, I think there's people that are put in leadership positions, on athletic teams. I think first is your best players. Next group is your hardest workers. Your next group is your best people. And so one of those three is going to kind of rise to the occasion. Every once in a while there's an outlier guy that has the biggest personality. Okay, that's kind of the outlier. But usually on a football team, your best players, your best people, usually those are older guys by the time they get in that position. Or what I say, I told you, best people, best players. What I forget? I just said this, Mike. I just went through it. All right, so best
workers?
No, hardest workers, best players, best people. Those are the three, okay? And the best people don't really rise until they're later in their careers, and usually the same way for the hardest workers, all right? And I think, so quarterback-wise, is these guys are thrust, because most time, by the time they get to us, they played in middle school, they played in high school, okay? So quarterbacks have a little edge up because verbally what they're asked to do as far as an offense. When you're in a huddle, which very few people do anymore, but you're the lead voice, even in no huddle, you're always communicating with the skill guys in the O-line. And so from a quarterback perspective, by the position they play, because there's so much communication involved, they need to be leaders, all right? Now, you have some guys that are a little bit quiet, all right? You have some guys that are more outgoing. Now, what you do is you've got to train them how you want them to lead your football team, okay? So you got to take their natural skills and then what we really think is important is our program and educate them, and I think they improve, okay? And that's kind of what we're in the process of doing with those two guys.
How does it being the second year in your system for the quarterbacks help them?
Yeah, I think anytime everybody in our program will be better year two. And just think, because they know what to expect better. That's why practice was so much smoother today than it was last fall camp or last spring. I think we had 6 newcomers that they were a little bit lost, but everybody else kind of knew where to go and what to do. And it'll be the same way with the quarterbacks within the offense.
You have a week of practice, take a week off, then pick back up.
I've never done it. Yeah, I've never done it. So the calendar kind of felt a little bit funny. We wanted to do the spring game on that 18th weekend, and we try not to do practice 2 days in a row. So we're doing it on Thursday and Friday, and then we're doing it when we have our clinic. But the clinic practice on that Friday is pretty light, and then we scrimmage on Saturday. So that was the best way to make it happen. So we're really a little bit of trial and error, because I've never done it. We've always started after spring break, but that had us going too late. And so kind of just trial and error and see if we like it.
To what extent have you simplified what the offensive linemen are going to be doing, because there's so little experience?
Yeah. So we thinned out. We got a little gadgety at the end of the year, just trying to give us a chance. So what we're doing is we're going back, and we got basically 3 run schemes that we're going to try to master. And so we're going to try to be, rather than trying to do a bunch of different stuff, you know, which wasn't the intent last year. We just kind of gotten that where we had to, really. I think every football coach kind of battles those same things. Do you do things that you feel confident that you can do and do well, but it may not work, or do you try to do something a little bit different that you might be able to surprise your opponent who's maybe a little better than you are? Okay, so I think everybody kind of battles those same things, and I'm not sure there's always a right or wrong answer. But what we're doing this spring is, because this should be in a teaching environment this spring. Our record on April 18th is going to be the same record it is right now, 0-0. And so what we're trying to do is, our defense, which is really good, it doesn't always look good early, but they do a ton of movement. We get every front that we're going to see during the year by our defense. And so we're going to try to master those 3-run plays. Protection-wise, we never asked them to do a whole lot, and we were pretty good protection-wise last year. That's kind of the thought process behind it.
You mentioned Jared Bartlett playing Mike. Is that part of that cross training, or do you think he's probably a better fit there?
No, I think we're going to try in the spring, and it's the Mike and Bandit. There's so much crossover. Yeah, the way we're playing those guys now, it's a lot of crossover.
You mentioned Junior. Anyone else from the offensive line that made some serious strides over the offseason?
Committer is a guy I'm excited about. Yeah, and he started every game last year, but you got to remember, he really didn't play much offensive line. You know, I think we moved him from D-line right before spring ball last year, so went through the falls, first time he ever played at the collegiate level on the offensive line, and he's a guy that had a really good offseason. He's kind of developing into a leader in that room. And Bryson Mays' body is really, I think when you guys see him, you'll be pleasantly surprised how he looks. He's gotten quite a bit stronger.
Do you have a preference on who goes where, left tackle, right tackle? Not a lot of experience.
Yeah, so what we're doing right now is playing John and Parker kind of getting some reps of that right tackle, and then Junior and Brandon are getting reps of that left tackle. And we'll probably maintain that through the spring unless something changes, just so we're not moving them around. And if we feel like we need to make some adjustments after the spring, we will. But that's how we're going about it right now.
Without Chase, who besides Bryson's getting snaps?
So we're moving them around a little bit. We're trying to teach, multiple people how to snap. So we're teaching Committer how to snap. Of course, you already said Bryson. And then Noah Drummond's getting some work there. Who else? There's one of the guys skipping my mind right here. Because Chase played a lot today because of the amount of contact.
Mm-hmm.
So, but those are the four guys who are getting around most of the snap.
Any of those injury guys, I mean, you said they'll be limited in the spring. You worried long term with
No, I think we're, knock on wood, I think we're right on track. Van Darius and coming off the ACL. And then we've got Taj. Taj probably had the most serious, but we feel good about both of them. We like what they are. They're running around. Like I said, I can't remember what day y'all are out there for the first time.
Thursday.
Thursday, yeah, you'll see them. They're moving around pretty good.
Okay, thanks, Coach.
All right, thank you. Have a good day.